I gotta say, I'm super excited. Yesterday's session was fantastic. I think one of the biggest takeaways for me is rewiring my thought process around prospecting and outreach. You know, I've been in sales before, and so I've got a lot of experience, but I think as a business owner and getting my business going, I've had a bit of a mental block thinking that, hey, I don't want to be the person cold outreaching. I don't want to come across as spammy. And I think that the cool thing about this system, it seems like, is it's designed to not feel spammy. It's designed just to create new connection and be purpose-driven. Man, a lot has happened in the last couple weeks. It's been really, really exciting, lots of cool stuff. First of all, the calls have been fantastic so far. Sean and Chris have been killing it. And after yesterday's call, we are pretty much ready to get started with outreach. So just 2 weeks in, I have my group set up, just finalizing some stuff for the sequence for people welcoming onto the email list. Just kind of planning out some content for people once I start accepting and getting people in there. But yeah, we're going to start rocking and rolling with it this next week, which is going to be really exciting. It's going to be especially exciting because this last week was huge for my business. I signed 3 new clients, which is going to be worth a lot to the business. So it's going to be really cool to put gasoline on that fire with the core prospecting system over the next couple weeks. Guys, it keeps getting better. Like, I'm really, really excited about what we've covered so far. And yeah, it's all just like really exciting. I think all the pieces are really starting to, fall together as far as like how we're going to turn this into a predictable, scalable lead gen process. What's been crazy is completely outside of this, my business has just been taking off. Like, not so the last 30 days. I've signed on a handful of really like huge new clients. I know that I can't, I gotta keep my foot on the gas, and I need to be diligent about getting the prospecting system in place, starting outreach, getting people into my group, accelerating there while things are really good, because if there's anything that is certain in business, it's that nothing's certain, right? So I'm really excited to kind of get this going, and I'm targeting this next week to really start full force prospecting and getting people into my group, starting to nurture them. And I feel totally equipped based on everything that we've covered in the last couple weeks to start that process. Guys, it's been another super crazy week. I'm not gonna lie. I've really been not struggling, but I've had my hands full because I've onboarded 4 new clients in the last 30 days. I definitely am trying to balance, how do I continue keeping my foot on the gas while also making sure that I'm doing the best work as possible for these new clients. But something that Sean said in our last meeting really stood out to me, which is that the pipeline's never full. And so even if I can't take on new prospects or new clients right now, I definitely need to be continuing to have conversations, to start new connections, and get people, into the universe, into the group, to start to nurture them, because I always need to be doing that consistent activity, and we can always be adding more people to that top of the funnel. So this is the first week that I've officially been doing daily prospecting into my group, creating new connections, adding new people, doing the follow-ups, doing the tracking on a daily basis. It's been great, although I've got to say it's a little bit uncomfortable, even for me, who I have a background like in outbound sales for a couple of years. It's just so different doing it through Facebook and social media, where there's not that, like, you can't hide behind like a cold email. It's like this is a real person reaching out to you. But I've been super pleasantly surprised. It's working really, really well. And in just a week, I've gotten my new group up to 29 people. Already started making some great connections with potential brands to work with and potential brand owners. And I've gone live a couple times in the group. Really, it's just awesome to take this system that Chris and Sean have put together from like, okay, I'm gonna get around to doing it, to like, okay, now I'm actually doing it and it's working. I can see how the pieces fit together. And I'm really, really optimistic that a couple of these people may turn into book calls in the next week or 2. And then it's only gonna go up from there. Guys, this is crazy. This core system is working. Like, I knew it was going to, but like now it's actually working. In the last week, 2 weeks, I've added 50 plus people to a brand new group. We've facilitated some awesome conversations, some really cool engagement in there. And it's also translated into like 3 booked calls with really great fit potential clients in the next week or 2. Potential clients are being added to the group every single day. It's just really, really cool to see the difference that the core system is making when it comes to me proactively going out to find and connect with the right people versus what I was doing before, which was, that inbound, organic only type marketing, where I was posting a lot on Facebook and hoping that the right people would like it and comment. So that I could follow up with them and start a DM. But this is so much more efficient, so much more predictable, and just everything, the whole way this whole system is put together, it's not only good for generating calls, but it's been fantastic just for starting to build a community. Okay, we're making progress. It's been a big week, lots of interesting things happening with existing clients, so a lot of my time been spent there on fulfillment and troubleshooting different stuff that's been happening. But I've been continuing to do the core prospecting system, adding new people to the group every day. I've had a couple of sales calls from the system, and they didn't end up being a fit for the right reasons. But it's good to be in a position where I can actually disqualify people, and I have enough pipeline and I have enough interest being generated that I feel comfortable turning away business if it's not a good fit. This last week, I think we booked 3 calls through the core prospecting system, directly through the add to group, and then follow up and ascend to the actual connection call. I can tell that the system is working. People are getting added to the group, the right people. I'm booking calls. I think now the thing that I really need to focus on is increasing my activity. Now that I've kind of consistently been at least doing something every day, I think now it just needs to increase what I'm doing by 2-3 times. And it's been tough for me just from finding the right people to add, but I'm doing some things, hiring some people for lead generation lists, etc., so that I can increase my outreach numbers every day, which I think is going to significantly improve my metrics for booked calls. This last week was a good week. I actually am traveling with my wife, so we've been on the road, working in Airbnbs, and it's been really cool just to kind of see how getting started in business has kind of made this possible, to be able to do something like this, where we can just take our work on the road and sort of sit around hours. So it's just been awesome. Right now, I'm getting ready to respond back to some VA candidates. So I've submitted the job ticket, and I'm starting that process of looking for a VA. And also just really kind of my big focus right now is dialing really heavily in onto the basics of the core prospecting system, and just working on making sure that I'm getting my prospecting numbers up every day, and working on the daily minimums, and just making sure that I have time blocked to do that. Because I think that that's where I've been facing the most kind of struggle and adversity so far with the system, is just finding enough new people and making enough time every day to actually get the numbers to where I need them to be. It's been an awesome couple months, and things are really starting to mobilize and look up a lot. This last month, March, will be my second month in a row cracking a 20K plus month. And April looks like it's on track to bring in about 35K for the agency. It's been really exciting, just kind of closing new business, in large part to a lot of the training and the systems that you guys have taught. I'm also in the process of hiring 2 VAs at once to kind of start the process of taking over prospecting, which is super exciting. I have 2 great candidates. And so following your onboarding and your hiring process has been a breeze. Just feel so excited to kind of start the process of outsourcing and buying a little bit of my time back now that I have a real system in place. It has been a cool week. I mean, the whole goal of this program, right, was to, develop a prospecting system that brings in new calls and connections, and then actually hand it off to VAs. Actually hire VAs and then hand it off to your VAs. And I really didn't know where to start with that, but I'm happy to report that I've now hired 2 VAs. We had our acceptance calls yesterday, and their first week of training is going to be this next week. So I'm super pumped about the candidates. I think they're both going to be great. Real go-getters, really smart. I'm a little bit nervous, I think, about this first week of training with them, just because I've never done that before, right? I've never trained somebody for my own company, for my own team. So I'm really super grateful for all of the resources and the training that you've been walking us through around hiring, training VAs, bringing them into your company as real team members and not just kind of as outsourced work. So I'm really optimistic, even though I'm a little bit nervous. Can't wait to report back next week after the first week to see to let you know how things are going. It has been a wild week, guys. So many things happening, really, really exciting. This has been my first full week of working with and training my 2 VAs. It's gone great. I've been following your process really to a T, meeting with them every day, and they are rocking and rolling. They're so smart, so proactive, really getting after the prospecting system and taking a lot of ownership of it. Yeah, it's just so cool to know okay, yes, I'm putting in a lot of work with them right now, but I can see the work being done without me actually having to do it. I know that this is going to be the thing that's going to allow my business to have a consistent lead generation system that just runs, and it's not going to be reliant on me having time to prospect every day, right? So I'm really excited about that. They're doing such a good job. Man, this week my group is almost bumping up on 100 members since I started it at the beginning of this process, with probably 20 of those leads coming in the last 24 hours after doing kind of a really cool interview that I went on that performed really well. I've got calls on the calendar. It looks like this month is going to be twice as good from a revenue perspective as my best month so far. So just a lot of really cool stuff happening, and just couldn't be more grateful to you and the Sales Ascenders team and this system. I think this has been one of the best things that I've ever done for my business and starting it. And just couldn't recommend this experience higher for anybody that's thinking about it.